Speaker, whilst referring to my entry in the register, I'd like to ask the Secretary of State to make a statement on the allegations of blagging at the Sunday Times and the relevance to these to the Leveson public inquiry.
Yeah. The Secretary of State for Digital, Culture, Media and Sport, Secretary Matt Hancock.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. This morning we saw reports in the media of a potential fraud and data protection breach by a former private investigator. The allegations are of behaviour that appears totally unacceptable and potentially criminal. Investigation is therefore a matter for the police, and the House will understand that there's only so far I can go in discussing the specific details and allegations. More broadly, some have already formed the conclusion that this revelation should require us to change policy on press regulation. Policy, of course, should always be based on all available information. It's worth noting that the activity described apparently stopped around 2010 before the establishment of the Leveson inquiry. Indeed, it was precisely because of cases like this that the Leveson inquiry was set up, and this sort of behaviour was covered by the terms of reference of that inquiry, and Mr. Ford's activities were raised as part of the inquiry. As we discussed in the House last week, and then again on Monday, there have been 3 detailed police investigations, a wide range of offences were examined, and over 40 people were convicted, and many went to prison. And today's revelations, if proven, are clearly already covered by the law and appear in contravention of Section 55 of the Data Protection Act 1998. As described, they would appear to be in contravention of the new Data Protection Bill currently before the House. What's more, the fact that this activity stopped in 2010 underlines the point that the world has changed. Practices like these have been investigated. Newspapers today are in a very different position to when these alleged offences took place. This view is in fact strengthened by today's example, because the behaviour we've discovered today was before the Leveson inquiry, and existing law is in place to deal with it. Criminal behaviour should be dealt with by the police and the courts, and anyone who has committed a criminal offence should face the full force of the law. Mr. Speaker, the future of a vibrant, free and independent press matters to us all. We're committed to protecting it. We want to see the highest standards, and we must face the challenges of today to ensure Britain has high-quality journalism and a high-quality discourse to underpin our democracy for the years to come.
Tom Watson.
Mr. Speaker, the world hasn't changed. The one rogue blackguard defence is being uttered from the mouth of the Secretary of State. And when he announced last week that he was dropping the Leveson inquiry, the Culture Secretary said he was doing so because the inquiry looked into everything in this area, and it was followed by 3 police investigations. We looked into these things as a society. We had a comprehensive Leveson inquiry. He told us that the matter was closed. There was nothing more to see. Well, overnight, the BBC has reported allegations by another whistleblower, John Ford, who says he was a blagger for the Sunday Times for 15 years, a newspaper the Secretary of State didn't even mention. Mr. Ford claimed he obtained the private bank and mortgage information from cabinet members and public figures. He says his activity for the paper was illegal, intrusive and ultimately wrong. In his evidence to the first half of the public inquiry, Times editor John Witherow, who then edited the Sunday Times, conceded Ford had worked for the paper, but did not reveal he had done so for over a decade. Today, the Sunday Times have disputed these new claims. Mr. Speaker, the second half of the Leveson inquiry could establish where the truth lies. That is what it was set up to do. But the government is closing down the public inquiry before it has done its work. And despite the fact that Sir Brian Leveson says he fundamentally disagrees with that decision, along with 130,000 concerned citizens who said it should go ahead and who the Secretary of State has chosen to disregard. Mr. Speaker, the Secretary of State is capitulating to the press barons who want to use their raw power to close down a national public inquiry. So I would like to ask him, in light of these new allegations, Will he reconsider his decision on the public inquiry into illegality in the press? If not, then how will he assure this House and the public that these new allegations of criminal behaviour by the Sunday Times will be fully investigated? Is it not now clear to him that too many questions remain unanswered to justify this decision to break David Cameron's solemn promise to the victims of press abuse?